Hey, good evening and welcome to Fridays by the Fire. It is me, your host, Sandy Best Life Jones. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. First of all, let me say how happy I am that today is Friday. Today was a very interesting day at work, literally from start to finish. It was non-stop, not happy people. So I had to put on my happy face. And even though I'm talking to people on the phone all day, I still make sure that I smile while I'm talking because we know that smile comes through over the phone. And that sometimes helps people calm down and not be so upset. So um, I did some great work today by the grace of God, and I'm very thankful. I'm happy to be here with you tonight. Before we get started with our show, I do want to read this disclaimer because, as you all know, I am not a doctor. I am not here to represent a doctor. This video is based on personal experience and is for informational purposes only. Please consult with the healthcare professional before major dietary change. I'm here to talk about my experience on the carnivore diet and how I have been able to lose 86 pounds so far by eating a mostly meat-based diet. That's what I'm here to talk about tonight. So I want to give people just a couple minutes to come into the chat. If you're here in the chat, let me see you. Put some hearts in the chat if you're here. I'm not going to be here long. I'm not going to wait a long time for people to come in, but I do see that people are slowly trickling in, and I want to make sure that you hear the information that you've come to hear, because I'm going to give you the full synopsis of the last 19 months that I have been following the carnivore diet protocol. And my reasons for following this protocol are probably not what you think. Most people think that I started doing carnivore strictly and solely to lose weight. The whole that wasn't the whole reason. I had a reason about that. I see my Wi-Fi is doing something weird, so I'm just hoping that it doesn't go all the way out. I don't know why it would, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. So I want to get started because I want to talk about what carnivore is before I get into why I started doing it. And I also want to encourage you to put your questions in the chat, and then that way I can answer them towards the end of the show. And I don't want to miss anybody's questions, so make sure that you put them in there for me, okay? So, this is what I found out to be true about me. I tend not to make changes that I need to make until not making the change gets really, really uncomfortable. I am a creature of habit, and I know this about myself. So I get comfortable. And until that discomfort overrides whatever it is I'm trying to avoid, I will just, sometimes I'm better. I'm not as bad as I used to be. But sometimes it's difficult for me to make moves. I need to be strategic about things. I have to pray about it. Then I have to sit with it and think about it. And then I'll go ahead and do whatever it is that I need to do. And so that sometimes delays what needs to happen in my life, because you could say that I overthink a little bit, but I still say I'm not as bad as I used to be. I'm much better than I used to be. So when it came to my weight, I was overweight, meaning morbidly obese, for a lot of years, decades actually. And the weight for me, the weight gain, I should say, started when I had my first child, my daughter, Latay. I don't know if she's watching, but that's my baby. And I was 150 pounds when I got pregnant with Latay. When I gave birth to Latay, I was about 250. And it was really difficult for me to reconcile that because I was 18 and this was my first child, but I also had some emotional issues going on at the same time. And I think that's where food came into play. I think that is when I developed the emotional attachment that I had to food. And I stayed in that vein for a long time because it was easier for me to eat my sorrows away than to actually talk about what was happening in my body and in my mind, and most importantly, in my spirit. And so I used food to comfort myself so I wouldn't have to think about, deal with, acknowledge the other issues that were going on in my life. And this went on for a long time. And it wasn't that I didn't know I was overweight. I was very aware that I was carrying too much weight. I didn't think that I could lose the weight. I thought that it would be too difficult. And I started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped a lot. I did every diet known to man. You name it, I have tried it. From Atkins to Weight Watchers to Nutrisystem to the cabbage soup diet to the hard-boiled egg diet to everything. I've tried everything. The only thing I haven't done is gastric bypass, and I've never taken a GLP-1. That's the only thing. I've tried everything else. And at the time, I didn't realize why what I was doing wasn't working. But now I see that what I was doing wasn't working because I didn't have the self-discipline that I needed. It wasn't just about not eating this and not eating that and only eating this or that. If there's no self-discipline, you're gonna do good for a while, but then you're gonna fall back into your old habits because the discipline is not there. And that's what was true for me. The discipline was sorely lacking. And I think the reason why I didn't have the discipline is because I had so many other things going on that I did not focus on this one thing, even though this one thing required my complete attention. I could not give it my attention because there were too many other things going on. So I think that's why I started and stopped so many diets. And once I stopped, I would go back to eating, the old way. And it just felt like it was too hard to start again, even though eventually I would, but I would wait and I would gain up back all the weight. And I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I would gain back every single ounce that I lost. And then I would just be like, you know what? I'm not doing this again. This is too much. I can't do it again. And so I would wait and continue to gain weight. And then I would get this burst of inspiration, maybe a year or two later, and I would try to do it again. So I understand what it means to yo-yo diet. I understand what it means to be frustrated because you have tried everything that you can possibly try. And you get to the point where you just say, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And now I don't want to do it. I just want to be left alone here on the couch with my bonbons. I just want people to leave me alone. Don't police my food. Don't mention my weight gain. Just leave me alone. That's where I was for a very long time. And it wasn't until I tried carnivore the first time in 2017 that I recognized the power of eating a low carb, high protein diet. I'd never even heard of carnivore. I didn't go on YouTube looking for carnivore. I was looking for nutrition experts that could help me put a meal plan together. Because once again, I was going to try to get the weight off. In 2017, when I started, I was about maybe 265. I hadn't hit my highest yet. And I did carnivore for about 6 months in 2017. And I lost about 60 pounds. It was very successful. And the weight came off very easily. I was walking every day also, and really focusing on a meat-based way of eating. So beef, bacon, butter, eggs was really my main focus. And I was successful. I lost about 60 pounds in 6 months. But then life crashed down on me like a big old wall. It just fell on me. 4 years later in 2021, my marriage ended. And by that time, I was at my highest weight, which was 289 pounds. And I have a picture that I want to show you because people don't always believe me when I say that I was as heavy as I was. And I think it's because um, I'm 5'8", and for a woman, 5'8" is considered tall. So when you tell people how much you weigh, when you get up there in the 200s, up there close to 300, they usually don't believe you. But this was me. I want to show you. This was me at my highest, 289. And this, I believe, was June of 2024. So this was 5 months before I started carnivore again. And I see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's great to see you. And I just want to tell you, about this Sandy. This Sandy was very sad on the inside, and not just about my weight, but just about what was happening in my life. Now, this was 3 years after my divorce was final, and I was still sad about the end of my marriage. But more than that, I was just sad in general. I didn't feel like I had what it took to take control of my health. I just felt really helpless. I felt like I'm just going to be this way for the rest of my life. And then I started saying, maybe it's just not meant for me to be a smaller size. And people actually were telling me that too. Well, maybe you're just not meant to be, really small. You're tall, you're big boned. You know that lie they be telling people. Child, everybody's bones weigh the same. And it took my good friend, Dr. Glenda, to tell me that. And she said it with such a sweet demeanor. She was like, no, everybody's bones are the same. There's no such thing. So I just got to the point where I just didn't want to try again. I just said, I don't want to do this again. But then my blood pressure said, sis, you got to do something, because this blood pressure medicine is not a long-term solution. It was never meant to be a long-term solution. It was meant to help you stabilize. And then you needed to do the work so you could keep your blood pressure stable naturally. But I went for years taking blood pressure medicine. So it was a really difficult time in my life. And at this point, I was, living as a single adult woman for the first time in my life. I was married for almost 3 decades. So I'm trying to figure this stuff out, and I'm talking to my doctor about it. And his first inclination is to push medication. And so we had the GLP-1 discussion. He and I did. And he said, well, you're not diabetic, so, I can prescribe it, but it's going to be about $800 a month for you, to use it. And I just said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying that much money for this medicine. I'm going to have to do this on my own. And I'm not really sure where the strength to do it, other than, I was praying and God was strengthening me, but the inner strength came back to me in 2024. And I made the decision to do whatever it took for me to take my health back. I was in the worst shape of my life. 2024. I knew I had to do something. And I thought about carnivore, and I said, when I did it before, it worked. What if I could actually do it long term? What if I can actually focus my mind to do this long term, to get where I've been trying to go all these years, which is under 200 pounds? What if I could actually do it this time? So I was talking to my daughter about it, and she encouraged me to start over. And so that's what I did. September 2024, I went in my kitchen. I believe it was September 16th. And I threw away everything in my cabinets that had processed carbs in it. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I had just bought groceries too. This is how I knew. This is how I knew that I was ready to change, because I had just bought groceries. But I went in my kitchen and I threw away everything that was processed. So all my favorite cereals, my favorite instant oatmeal that is full of sugar, potato chips, Pop Tarts, just you name it. Everything that I had just bought at the store, I threw it in the trash. That's what I did. It all went in the trash. All the juice in the refrigerator got poured out and the containers thrown in the trash. The only thing I kept was the eggs and the meat. And I had gone back on YouTube and I went back to my favorite carnivore doctor, Dr. Ken Berry. And he is the one that inspired me the first time I did carnivore. I went back to his channel and he was still on YouTube 7 years later, telling people about the benefits of the carnivore diet. So I went back to his channel and I binge watched his most recent videos. And he started talking about the beef, bacon, butter, and egg challenge. This was 2024. And it was getting ready to start. And he said, if you want to get started, here's the link on this video where you can go and you can find out what you need to do. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. September 2024. And that's what I did. I went back to the store and bought a bunch of steaks. I bought ground beef. I bought ground lamb. I bought bacon. Yes, I eat pork bacon. I prefer pork bacon over beef bacon. But I do eat beef bacon too. And I started out really strict. And I don't recommend this for people, but I went cold turkey. That's how fed up I was with myself. I just said, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to dive in. Most people ease into carnivore by slowly taking away the processed foods that they've been eating for many, 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 many years. I didn't do it that way. I threw that mess away. The candy, the pastries, the desserts, everything that I bought, the cupcakes, all of it went in the trash. And sweets were my real Achilles heel. It was sweet. It was pastries. It was donuts. It was anything sweet. And then it was fast food. I stopped eating fast food that day. French fries. I had stopped drinking soda 5 years before I started. I had given up soda a long time before I started carnivore. But that juice with all that sugar in it, I should have just kept drinking the soda because the juice was just as bad. All that sugar is just as bad. I threw it all away. So most people don't start carnivore that way, but that's what I did. I just dived right in. I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's what I did. And let's talk about what carnivore is before I get into the rest of my story, because I want you to kind of have an idea of what it is. And then we're going to talk a little bit about why it's effective. So we're going to break this down really simply. The carnivore diet is exactly what it sounds like. You are eating meat, you're eating eggs, you're eating butter, you're eating animal-based foods. And that's pretty much it. No sugar, no carbs, no processed foods, period. The protocol is meat-based. So let's talk about why it works. And I didn't know all of this until I started. And then I did even more research than I did before I started. So I could get a clear understanding of why does this work. So this is what my note says. It says you cut out sugar, your insulin stabilizes. So there's no spikes in insulin when you cut out sugar. There's no crashes and there's no constant hunger. And I'm telling you, I know this to be true. When you switch to a meat-based diet or to a high protein, low carb diet, you kill your cravings for sugar. You kill your cravings for processed foods. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. When you make the switch, your body will respond in kind. Even if you don't do carnivore, if you do keto, keto is similar to carnivore, but you eat vegetables and you eat fruit with keto, but you only eat certain vegetables and fruit. You're going to go for low carb vegetables. You're going to go for low sugar fruit with keto. And then you'll add your protein, which is usually from some kind of meat source. Carnivore is different. I don't really eat vegetables. Every now and then I'll eat some asparagus, but for the most part, I don't eat vegetables. I don't really eat fruit. Every now and then I want some red grapes and I'll eat some grapes, but I haven't had grapes and I don't even know how long. I don't really eat vegetables. I don't really eat fruit. I focus on beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, lamb, salmon, prawns, shrimp. That's my focus. But this is why I'm still doing this 19 months later. It's because in the first 2 weeks in carnivore 20, most of that was inflammation. It was fluid that I had been carrying on my body because I was eating so many carbs and so much sugar. When I released that fluid, 20 pounds came off in 2 weeks. And that's when I said, hey, wait a minute, what's happening here? I said this in an interview that I did. I said about the 15th day or so, I just jumped out of bed one morning when I was getting up for work. I just jumped up out of bed. I never would do that because my body would hurt when I woke up. So I would have to stretch and, sit there for a few minutes and, I would be in pain. But 2 weeks into carnivore, I was able to just jump up out of bed and I startled myself because my body didn't hurt. And I was able to move so much more freely. And it was really shocking to me. And I said, did carnivore do that? Okay, let's keep going. So I kept going. Protein and fat actually satisfy you. And I'm talking about healthy fat. And the healthy fat that I get is from eating a meat-based diet. Red meat. I choose the selection of meat that has a lot of fat on it. If I go to the meat market, I tell them to leave the fat on it. Because that fat is what helps you stop snacking all day long. I wasn't thinking about food all the time. I was obsessed with food. When I was eating breakfast, I was obsessed about my lunch. When I was eating lunch, I was obsessed about what I was going to eat for dinner. I'm telling you, if you have been in that position or you're in that position right now, I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be obsessed with food. I understand it. I get it because I was the same way. This is when I was working in the office and, nobody knew what I was eating for lunch. I'm the only one that knew I was eating fast food every day for lunch. My family probably knew because you can tell what people eat by the weight carry on their body. But I had gotten to the point where I was eating, hiding what I was eating because I didn't want people to know what I was eating. So if you're there, I understand you. I get it. I understand. I promise you, I understand. And I'm getting text messages from people saying they can't see the live. So I want to make sure that people can see it. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to see it, but I'm going to share it. Oh, that's why, because it's not public. Mm, and it's not letting me change. It's not letting me change the privacy settings. So if I sent you an invitation, you should be able to see the live on Facebook, and of course, you can go right to YouTube to see it. Best Life TV. So let me get back to what I was saying. So when I released that inflammation, my stomach got flatter too, like flat. Like it wasn't a fluke. My stomach got flat. So then I was really intrigued. I was like, okay, why is this happening so fast? But it was the release of all that inflammation off my body. So when I would get off work in the evening, my legs were not swollen anymore. My feet were not swollen anymore. My back wasn't hurting like it had been hurting for like 5 years before that. I just felt really good. And I was still 260, but I felt so much better. And that was 20 pounds lighter, just 20 pounds. And I felt really good. Not to mention that I lost some inches too in that first 2 weeks. And I know, sometimes we can get obsessed with the scale, which is why I only weigh myself once a month. I don't weigh myself every day or every week like a lot of people do. I weigh myself once a month on the 16th of every month. Sometimes a different day, but only once a month, because I know how I am. And I know that I will become obsessed with the scale and what it says. And I try not to do that, because you can be losing inches, but the scale doesn't move. So you gotta pay attention to how your clothes feel. If your clothes start getting bigger, that means you're losing inches, even if you're not losing fat. So don't be discouraged if the scale doesn't move, but your clothes are still getting bigger. That's a good thing. My notes say, when your body is not constantly processing junk, your mind gets quiet. And when your mind gets quiet, you can hear God clearly. And I know this to be true for myself. When your body isn't overwhelmed, your spirit can actually lead your decisions. I found that out doing the carnivore diet. Removing all that sugar and all those carbs from my diet helped to stabilize my mood. And it quieted my thoughts, so I wasn't constantly thinking about food. And then when I began to pray, I could hear God more clearly, because my mind the brain fog was lifting in my mind. And I know this to be true. I know this to be true about a high protein, low carb way of eating. Now, I will say that around day 4, I started having some detox effects. And so I was having that headache that you get. I wasn't having any cravings, but I just didn't feel well. It was like I felt like I had the flu, but it wasn't the flu. It was because I was detoxing my body from sugar. So I'm going to tell you right now, 3 or 4 days in, once you start, if you decide to start, you're probably going to have a headache. You just may not feel well in your body. You got to let that pass. Don't let it deter you. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it frustrate you. It's just part of the body's way of detoxing from all that sugar and all those carbs. So if you can get through that to day 7, I'm telling you, a wave of peace is going to hit you like you have never experienced in your life. That's what I call it. Some people call it the carnivore zen. I call it the wave of peace. And that's what I felt 7 days in. I just felt hopeful for the first time in a really long time. I felt like, okay, Sandy, you can do this. And then by week 2, after I had dropped that 20 pounds of fluid and inflammation, yeah, I was on a roll. I was on a roll by week 2. And my family was so used to me starting and stopping diets that I really don't think they thought I would stay with it this long. I don't think they did. I think they were hopeful for me, But I think that they had seen me starting and stopping diet so many times that I don't think they really believed that I would do it. And so to see me now, where I am 12 sizes smaller than I was when I started, they are so proud of me and happy for me, and they don't understand how I do it. They don't understand how I do it because now it's a lifestyle. So I don't even have to think about it. It's just the way that I eat now. But I know they think they just don't understand how I'm able to do it. But once you, and I say this all the time, y'all know I say this all the time. Once you make the decision to create a routine and you allow that routine to create a rhythm and you stay in that rhythm, you will get the results that you want. And it's not just about weight loss, it's with whatever you do. When you decide that you're going to make some changes and you create a routine that helps you create a rhythm, then that rhythm will create results. And I found that out doing the carnivore diet. I know this to be true. And I stayed with it. I stayed in the rhythm. So you might be asking and wondering, what do I have to do to get started? What do I do? You can do what I did. And you can just go in the kitchen and just clean out all the cabinets. I did it. You're talking about somebody who loves pies, cup, sugary cereal. That was my thing. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, it didn't matter which one it was. That's what I wanted. That's what I ate. Half the time I didn't even taste my food. I couldn't even taste it. I'd be hungry again an hour later because it was just empty calories. There was no nutritional value to anything that I was eating. And yet, I still made the decision to create a routine that then helped me develop a rhythm for my life. I still threw away everything in my cabinets and in my refrigerator that I knew was unhealthy. And I just started over. Yes, it was for the umpteenth time, but I did it. And so if I can do it, anybody can do it. But you have to make up your mind that you finally want something different. And that's what I did. I made up my mind that I want something different for my life. I want something different for my health. I want to be here as long as I possibly can with my children and my grandchildren and my family and the people that I love so much. And my only regret is that I couldn't come to this decision and stay with it while my sister was alive, because she would be so proud of me. She really would. She worried a lot about me and my health. And I wish I could have gotten here while she was still here, but I just wasn't ready. I had too many other emotionally traumatic things going on in my life, and I could not focus on my health. It took me removing myself from those other traumatic things so that I could finally focus on me. And that's what I did. And I think of her when I'm out walking, getting my steps in. I think about her and how she used to walk every day. She walked everywhere. She was just a walker. She loved to walk. And so when I'm out walking and I'm in those getting a mile, and I think of her if she was still here, and we'd be walking together and we'd be eating healthy together and we'd be drinking water together. And that makes me smile. It makes me smile. It makes me happy to know that I'm finally caring enough about myself to do what I need to do to live as long as I possibly can. And that's why I want to encourage those of you that are watching tonight. You got to make a decision. There's no magic potion for weight loss. Yeah, you can take a weight loss drug and you'll lose some weight. But that's not a long-term fix. And it doesn't fix the way you think about food. It just keeps you from being hungry. But it doesn't fix why you started to obsess about food in the first place. It doesn't answer the why of why food became your emotional um, blanket. It doesn't tell you why you developed an emotional attachment to food. It just it decreases your appetite, and that's how you begin to weigh. But if you never address why you started overeating in the first place, the weight is going to come back, and it'll probably be twice as much as what you lost before. And I know this because I've done this. I've done this over and over. So I know this to be true. So it's about making the decision to address why you made food the focal point of your life in the first place. And sometimes that takes therapy. Sometimes it takes sitting down with a counselor so you can really talk about what's been going on in your life over the years and years and years that you've been overeating. Again, that's what I had to do. And I was ready to do it. And I'm thankful today that I'm in almost the best shape of my life. I still have about 20 pounds that I want to lose and add weightlifting so I can increase my muscle mass. But I am in the best shape that I've been in since before I had my first child 40 years ago. My baby girl is 40 years old. And I'm finally in much, much better shape, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I believe that God has used this encounter that I've had with him and with myself, because I had to come to terms with myself too. It wasn't enough for me to just be out here praying if I wasn't willing to put some action with my prayers. So God helped me have an encounter with myself so I could get real about Sandy and what was going on with me and all the things that I didn't want to look at and didn't want to talk about and didn't want to acknowledge. I had to let that stuff come up in therapy. And I'm so grateful that I did it that way. I'm so grateful that I did it that way because it helped me purge. It helped me purge all of the hidden traumas that I didn't want to face. I finally faced them. And that's when the light came on. And I said, it's time now. It's time to make some changes now. It's okay. You're safe. It's time to go ahead and do what you need to do. And that's what I've been doing for the last 19 months. And I'm happy to say I'm 86 pounds lighter, 12 sizes smaller, and I move around much better. I'm not tired all the time. Actually, I try to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night, but sometimes I just can't sleep because I have so much energy. So it's not that I don't want to get my 8 hours, because 8 hours is really important. 8 hours of sleep every night is very important for your brain. And Dr. Glenda Shepherd is coming on my show tomorrow night, and she's going to talk about her new book, but she's also going to talk a little bit about why it's so important to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night. She's going to talk about that too. And I try to do that, but I have so much energy that sometimes I just can't sleep. Like right now, when I finish my show, I'm probably going to go to a movie because I'm not tired. And I worked all day today. Took like maybe a 1 hour cat nap, and that's it. I'm up. I'm wired. I'm ready to go do something. So I just feel like getting all that inflammation off my joints and off my major organs is the best thing that I could have done for myself. Getting all that extra weight off of my body is the best thing I could have done for myself. And I want to help as many people as I can do what I did. Even if it's not with the carnivore diet, it could be keto, it could be keto-more, which is a combination of keto and carnivore. Whatever it is that you decide to do, even if you do GLP-1, whatever it is that you decide to do, I want you to be successful. But I also need you to know that it's going to take some introspection on your part. You're going to have to dig deep, and you're going to have to look at some of those areas of your life that you probably haven't looked at in a really long time. It's going to be time to turn that microscope on you. And like I always say this, it's time to start telling the truth to yourself about yourself. You can't do this while you're still lying to yourself. You can't. It's not gonna be. You won't be able to sustain this kind of change without telling yourself the truth about what's really going on with you and why you have this friendship with food that is unhealthy for you. So I encourage all of you to do your own research. I have thoroughly researched the Carnivore Diet eating program, and I have found it to be the best way for me to eat. High protein, low carbs, 20 grams of carbs or less. There are carnivores that don't eat any carbs at all. None, zero. There is an 86-year-old woman, and I put her picture in my story. She's been carnivore for, I don't even know how long, 40, 50 years, before people even knew what carnivore was. She started eating a meat-based diet. And when I tell you this lady does not look 86, I wish I would have downloaded her picture so I could show you. I'm going to post it on my Facebook. You would never think this lady is 86 years old. And it's because she doesn't eat sugar, doesn't eat carbs. I'm here to tell you that is not true for me. That is not true for me. My blood work is golden. My doctor is amazed. So do your own research. Do what I did. Research it for yourself and see if it's the right move for you. I can help you get started. I have a 14-day meal plan that I've put together. If you would like a copy of that, let me know and I will email it to you. It's a very simple plan. And it might require you to eat differently from your other family members. It might require you, when you go out to dinner with your family or your friends, to tell them, no, I'm not eating that. I'm going to eat this, because I do it all the time. If I have to go somewhere and I know that they're going to be serving food, I bring my own food in my little container. I have to go to Vancouver on Sunday with my church. I know that they're going to be serving, dinner afterwards. I'm bringing my own food. This is how serious I am about staying on track and about what I put in my body. I had a friend of mine make me a couple quiche, and she didn't use any crust. She made it exactly the way I asked her to. And so I'm going to bring quiche with me on Sunday instead of eating what everybody else is eating. And I do this all the time. I'll bring some steak and eggs to our leadership meeting at church, because I know what happens in my body when I don't eat the way I'm supposed to eat. I just feel sick. I'm tired. I don't feel like myself. And I like feeling like myself, because feeling like myself means I feel healthy and I feel strong. So I advocate for Sandy when it comes to what I eat. I advocate for me. I don't look for somebody else to do that for me. I do that for myself. I bring my own food, or I eat before I go, because if I eat before I go, I know I'm not going to be hungry. So that's what I do. Now, don't get it twisted though. If I want some red grapes, I'm going to have some red grapes. I'm going to eat those grapes and I'm going to enjoy those grapes. I don't deprive myself. If I go to the movies tonight, I'll probably eat some popcorn. Now, I haven't had popcorn and I don't know when, but I might eat some popcorn while I'm eating it, while I'm watching The Devil Wears Prada too. I might eat some popcorn. I don't know. So if you see me at the movie eating popcorn, don't be alarmed. I just wanted some popcorn. Because I know that carnivore is my lifestyle now. It's not a diet. That's just the way I eat. So I don't get all weird about, if I eat a grape or some asparagus or some popcorn. I don't get weird about it. because I know that I know how to stay on track, and I stay on track. So it's really important not to get hyper focused on, oh my God, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I don't do that. Now for the first year, maybe I was very, very strict. But the last 6 months or so, if I want some grapes, I'll eat some grapes. I haven't had any grapes in a long time though. But if I want them, I'll eat them. I mean, it's a grape, y'all. It's a grape. So I hope this has been helpful. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Oh, eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed. Don't starve yourself. You have to eat. I found out about 6 months into eating this way, eating the carnivore way, that I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough because I had a stall. My scale wasn't moving. And I was like, well, what is happening? So I went back to Ken Berry, Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube, and I found a video where he talks about how you need to make sure that you eat until you're satisfied. Not stuffed, but satisfied, and make sure that you're eating enough. And so at that time I was eating one meal a day, but it was a big, 6 eggs and a big ribeye steak. Now I eat twice a day. I eat in the morning about 7 o'clock before I start work, and then I eat again at 4. And I don't typically eat after 4. If I don't have a chance to eat at 4, I'll eat at 6, and I won't eat again for that day. I don't eat after 6. I definitely don't eat into 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. I haven't done that in a long time. So, but I do make sure that I eat enough. And it's hard to do on carnivore because when you eat a meat-based diet or you eat a high-protein, low-carb diet, very little food makes you satiated. So sometimes it's difficult to eat enough when you eat high-protein, low-carb, because that protein fills you up. But you just got to make sure that you do eat enough, even if that means you got to count your macros, count your calories, which I don't do, but some people do. Some carnivores count their macros. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how to do it, but some carnivores do. So you just want to make sure that you're eating enough. You want to make sure that you're drinking enough water. I drink a gallon of water every day. I'm not telling you to drink a gallon of water every day. You have to decide what is the best amount of water for you. I know a lot of doctors say drink half your weight in ounces of water every day. I drink a gallon of water every day. And that just that flushes out toxins. It flushes out whatever needs to be flushed out all throughout the day. So yes, I'm using the bathroom all day long, but that's what has worked for me. So that's what I do. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to tell you? That insulin spike it's important. When you cut out that sugar and those processed carbs, your insulin stabilizes. And that's when the weight begins to come off. You can research it for yourself. I believe that's why carnivore works so well. So I hope that this has been helpful tonight. I was really excited to share what I've been doing for the last 19 months and where I am. And I want to share this picture because I went to my church gala in December of last year. And I went to Macy's to find my dress. Now, typically when I have to go to a black tie event or a formal event, I get very, very, very stressed out because I end up waiting till the last minute to buy something, because when I was bigger, I didn't like to shop for clothes. And so if I knew that I had to go to something formal, I didn't want to buy a formal dress because it was just so restricting. And it just stressed me out. But December of last year, I was down to a 14 at that time, and I went shopping for a dress, and I went to Macy's, and I tried on this dress, and I called my daughter and I said, I found my soulmate. I fell in love with this dress, and I was so happy that it fit, and it fit really good. So I want to show you a picture of the dress that I wore to my church gala last year. Let me show you. That's me. And that's a 14. I'm a 12 now. Um, but I was just so excited to be able to put that dress on, zip it up, and it was comfortable. I didn't feel squeezed in there. It's too big for me now. I'm gonna have to take it and get it taken in because I'm not giving that dress away. I love that dress. But just to be able to go into Macy's and take a dress off the rack, go in the the dressing room, put it on, and it fit and it felt good. I didn't feel stuffed in my dress. I felt like that dress was made for me. That alone keeps me encouraged as I'm going through this journey to 185 pounds. I felt so good in my skin. I felt so good in my body. And I was just so proud of myself because I had worked so hard, 2 miles every day, walking, 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 drinking my water, eating the way I knew I needed to eat. So when it came time for me to go buy the dress for my gala, I could just walk in the store and take that dress off the rack and put it on. And I was so happy. I was really happy. So there are small milestones that you get to acknowledge on your weight loss journey. And I do. I acknowledge the small ones. I acknowledge the big ones. I am amazed at myself that I have been able to go from a size 24 to a size 12. I haven't been a 12 probably since I was 12. I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious. So this has been an awesome journey for me. This has been an awesome journey for me. And yes, I've had to sacrifice some of the foods that I used to really, really love, but it's been worth every single sacrifice I've had to make. There were times when I was new into carnivore, maybe 5-6 months in, and I knew if I went out to dinner with my family or my friends, I was going to slip. So I just didn't go. I wasn't strong enough to do it. Now I order what I know I need to be eating, or I bring my own food. And I don't make any qualms about that at all. And my family is very understanding of me. They see the work that I'm doing. They see the progress that I'm making. So they don't try to tempt me, even though they can't, because I don't eat that way anymore. But they're not like that. My friends are not like that. But some people have family members who want to try to get them to go back to how they used to be. And so they'll make foods that they know that person is not supposed to be eating, but they know that person like really liked that food before they started trying to make changes. And I'm just grateful that my family is not like that. My friends are not like that. But even if they were, I've worked too hard. I've sacrificed too much. I'm in such a better place now, mentally and physically and emotionally and spiritually, that I'm going to take care of myself. And if that means I'm going to bring my own food to your dinner party, I'm going to be sitting up there eating my own food at your dinner party. And that's just what it is. So I strongly encourage you to just begin to pray and ask God to give you the strength and the courage and the fortitude that it's going to take to make the decision that you need to make about your health. Weight loss is, yes, it's about what you eat, what you drink, how much you exercise, but it's also about self-discipline. It's about focus. It's about making a decision. It's about creating a routine. And it's about allowing that routine to help you create a rhythm in your life. And it's that rhythm that creates the results. So just know that I am with you. I'm praying for you. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can send me a Facebook message. If you follow me on Instagram at Sandy Best Life Jones, you can send me a DM. And I'll answer any questions you have. Let me look in the chat just to make sure there's no questions in there. I don't see any. Nope, I don't. I'll answer any questions you have. I will send you my 14-day meal plan. It's a carnivore meal plan. It's a meat-based meal plan. Very, very simple to follow. I'll send it to you if you need it. You just let me know. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Fridays by the Fire. It's good to be here where you guys can see me. I'm not normally on camera, but I wanted to be on camera tonight. And I really thank you for watching. Tomorrow night is Girl Talk Sunday on a Saturday with Dr. Glenda Shepard. She's coming to the Girl Talk Sunday sofa to tell us all about her brand new book. Oh, I have the book and didn't bring it, but this has been a labor of love for her. And you know that Dr. Glenda is my personal trainer. She and I are going to be working out together. She's going to put me on a weight training program so I can gain some muscle mass. She's one of my favorite people on this planet. And she's coming to Girl Talk Sunday tomorrow, Saturday, to talk about her new book and what inspired her to write it and why she believes 40 days of focusing on nothing but your relationship with God will change your life. And that's what she's coming to talk about tomorrow. So I can't wait to see her. But in the meantime, y'all be good. God bless. Good night.
Heal my heart. No more pain. No, I'm not the same. I've been changed. I made a decision. I'm making a change. And I'm not gonna worry if they look at me strange. My song is different. My mind renewed. Lord, I've been changed. And it's all because of you. Proclaims your name, Lord. I've been changed, Lord. I've been changed, and I know that I will never be the same. I'm turning the corner. I'm moving on. I won't be shackled to my past. Free at last. This feels so good. Like I knew it would. Finally lay down all of my burdens. Walking in faith, now I'm for certain. Proof